Hello and welcome to episode 53 of Moms with Yarn. My name is Sharon. I'm known as Bronx Knitter 1 on Ravelry and Bronx Knitter on Instagram. Welcome. It's been a couple of weeks, a little bit more, and you might hear I sound a little bit raspy, but just hang on because I'll make this as painless for you as humanly possible. So let me ask, are you knitting in the By the Book KAL? I see that some people have put up some finished objects. Thank you. Thank you for joining. And I have a couple of my own that I've done, but I'm not eligible for any of the prizes, so that's that. But I'm really happy to see that you're doing that, so thank you. I have knit up a couple of things, and they are for the Biggest Loser challenge of 2017 because I'm trying to work for my stash, and I am breezing right along. And the main reason that made me get up and get out there while the sun was shining today is because I made some socks for my son. He asked for them yesterday. I finished them the day before. He asked for them the day before yesterday while they were still on the needles. He asked for them the day after they got off the needles. And I've been stalling because it's me or him. And I decided that it's me. So there you have it. And I've also been entering into my listings on Ravelry how many grams I've used. So I'm cooking with oil. So let's get started with the knitting, shall we? And then I'll tell you about my exciting adventure today. So the first thing I made was the Speckled Space Socks, and that is by Amanda Stevens. And I used Gail's Art Sock Blank in the Extreme 80 colorway. Her card looks like this, and the socks look like this. And one of the ladies in my knitting class said, "Those are the prettiest ugly socks I've ever seen." And I was like, thank you. It's a good thing they're for me, because I would hate for somebody to feel that way when they got them. So you can barely see the design on them, but it's there. And it did stripe. It was not symmetrical, but it was kind of close. I like them. And it's really soft. They're really soft. So I used a US 1 2.25 millimeter needle. And I finished them pretty quick, and because I started them last year, I didn't enter them into the challenge, but I could weigh them anyway, just to see how much of my stash. So this Extreme 80 sock blank is 463 yards of 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And it's really soft. I didn't think it would be, but it is. So there was object number one. I'm happy with them. They'll come off the sock blockers, and I will start wearing them ASAP. The second thing I made was I had some hand spun. It was Long Island livestock. It is 68% llama / alpaca and 32% wool. It was 4 ounces, but I made it a 3-ply, so I only got 148 yards, but that was more than enough to make myself some fingerless mitts by Tin Can Knits. And I guess it depends what light you look at when you look at them, but they're like a gray brown, really dark brown. So from a distance they might look black, but they're not black. So Tin Can Knits, they're called the Honeycomb mitts. And it is, I used a US size 5 for the ribbing and a size 7 for the actual hand. They fit perfectly. And today, even though it's kind of warm outside, these would be perfect for wearing on a day like today where there's a little bit of a breeze, but it's not really that cold. Because my fingertips get cold faster than, my palms don't need warming, but my fingertips do. So I really like these. They came out really rather nice. And I used 67 grams out of, I don't know how many grams there were. 67 grams. I'd only had like 20 grams left when they were done, so this is the size medium. And you can see why they're called the honeycombs. So that was finished object number 2. I'm going to put that in my hat box. I have in my closet I have one of those cloth containers, and I put all my hand knits in there that I wear. Every time I walk out the door, I just grab something and wear it. I don't care what color it is. I don't care what it looks like. Everything in there is clean and wonderful, so that's where all of my knitted goods go. So now this is my son's socks, which I used Miss Babette in the Into the Void colorway, and it is 2-ply fingering, yummy 2-ply fingering, 100% superwash merino, and the pattern is vanilla latte socks. And everybody and their parents have made these socks. These are the simplest socks, I think, in the world. It's a 72 stitch sock. My son wears a size 9.5. So these are large. I love the color. I love the way the colors came out. And the pattern is easy. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. So if you need a pair of a little bit more than just plain basic socks, these are wonderful for that. And really, the colors are showing up a lot better on screen than they are in real life. Overall, they have like a gray color, but here looks like blue, even though it's darker in real life than it is on the camera. So these are for him, and now he can wear his new socks. Yay! So these socks were 87 grams. So I made them higher than I normally make socks for myself, but I tried to use the whole skein. I was not successful any higher, and they would have been knee socks, I think, and he would not wear them. So, but I made my son 2 pairs of socks for Christmas, and for some reason, he could only find 1 sock from each pair. That is not reasonable. He needs to go clean up his room or dig in the hamper or something, because he wore 1 sock from each pair to work yesterday. So that's not cool. If I make you a pair of socks, you should wear them as a pair of socks, especially if it's the first time you've ever worn them. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so that is it for my finished knitted objects. Now, in 2017, I spun up this, was it? I spun up this Malabrigo noob, and it is 100% pure merino, and it's in the Indicita colorway. I made 2-ply, and I got about 305 yards, and it looks like this. And I think I did spin this up this year. So I am going to make something out of it and get 2 entries into the stash reduction, the biggest loser. This is what it looks like. Some barber polling. It's not completely even, but I would say it's a heavy fingering. I love these colors. I love these colors. I love these colors. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to make with this, but I'm going to make something with it because I don't want it hanging around. I got a lot of hand spun hanging around. And I would like my hand spun to disappear. So 305 yards is enough to make a hat and mitts with. Oh, I love this colors. So I'm going to try to see if I have something in my library that is suitable for fingering. I have made a Ricky hat for everybody except myself. That might be something under consideration since it's in my Ravelry library. But, yep. Love it. So that's it for my finished objects. So for my knitting objects, I am making the hydrangea socks by Janelle Laidman from her Eclectic Soul book. And I am using White Birch Fiber Arts. White Birch Fiber Arts in the Crime Scene Barbie colorway. It's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And it looks like this. It is mostly black with orange, fuchsia, little dribs and drabs of purple. A lot of nice colors in here, which you can't see, but that's as good as I can get it to show up. But you get the idea. And I'm making the hydrangea socks, but I left off the hydrangea part because I thought that this sock had a big band of color and then the rest of it would be black. So there would be big bands of black and smaller big bands of color and smaller bands of black. Or I don't know what I thought. Because the sample when I got it at New England Fiber Festival had black, and a big patch of this pink. But that's not what happened here. So anyway, this is the hydrangea sock, and the hydrangea part would have cut into both of these colors, and I didn't like the way it looked, so I just went without making the hydrangea. And I think you can see more of the colors here. Purple, pink, orange, yellow. It's really soft, and it is really, I mean, the pattern is not showing up. This is a twisted stitch, and these are pearls in between. And I'm making these socks for someone, but I really like the way it looks on the other side. When I turn it inside out, it looks like this. So I'm trying to decide, excuse me, if I should continue working the pattern as it's written and then bind off the toe on this side, and then she can wear the socks this way. Tell me what you think. This or this? I'm using a US size 1, 2.25 millimeter, and I just barely got started, but this is the first sock. So tell me what you think. Should I keep going with that? All right, so the last thing on my agenda is some more spinning, which I'm doing. It is Into the World, and the colorway is Mithrandir, which I think is the Lord of the Rings reference. It is 40, 40, 20. Superwash merino, merino, and tussa silk. And let me just say, we did not get along on the wheel. Oh, okay, wait. Let me just tell you about this first before it's going to be a 2-ply. This is what they look like. Now, I have a woolly winder, so my bobbins shouldn't look like this. But it's a bunch of different greens. It's really pretty. And my woolly winder broke. So they bunched up on the bobbin. I don't care because I'm going to ply them today. I finished spinning this yesterday, so they've had about almost 24 hours of sitting. So I'll ply these this evening and see what I get. Probably, it barber poled anyway, so I don't know what I'm gonna get when I ply it up. But, so when I took my bobbin off and noticed that there was a lot of fiber in the middle and almost nothing on the ends, I was like, well, what the heck happened there? The woolly winder, when you use it, gives you an even bobbin. So everything is flat, everything is aligned, it's perfect. So in the middle of the night, after I got finished, you know, well, it wasn't the middle of the night, it was maybe 9 o'clock. After I got finished doing the spinning, I took the woolly winder apart according to the instructions. And if I tell you, it was like an inch thick with grease. It was horrible. And so you put it in the sink. I put it in a bowl with hot soapy water and let it soak for a little bit. Then I took an old toothbrush and I washed it down. And that black stuff, it came off. It was all over my hands. It was on my clothes. It was everywhere. I should have known to wear an apron. So I put it back together and it doesn't work like it did before. It gets stuck halfway through. I thought I lost the little screw. There's all these tiny little pieces, so you have to be, I had a white towel laid out. I took the thing apart according to the instructions. I took the pieces that they specified to the bowl, which I had here. I put it in the bowl. I took the bowl into the kitchen, put a little bit of dish soap in there, hot water, let it soak for like 10 or 15 minutes while I wiped everything else down. There was black gook everywhere. So I put it back together, and there's one last screw that you have to put in. And you can't put it too tight, you can't put it too loose, whatever. I don't know what happened, but the woolly winder wasn't moving at all. I was like, oh my God. So I sent a note to the people at Woolly Winder to tell them that I had lost one of the screws, even though I don't know how that could have possibly happened. And then today, when I was, I found that I had also left a piece sitting on the white towel. I was like, where did this come from? How am I supposed to put this in here? How's it supposed to stay? Then I dropped it inside the woolly winder. I mean, oh my gosh, it was such a mess. Anyway, I got all the bits and bobs put back together. Put the woolly winder back on the wheel. Tried to spin some junk fiber that I have, because you know I have 12 braids of fiber that I have committed to spinning this year. Oh my goodness. It gets stuck a little bit, but it jumps and it gets stuck and then it moves and then, ugh. I was up until like past midnight trying to fix this thing. And then I woke up this morning and found that the piece that I had left on the table on the towel, which I'd forgotten about, was, oh my God, what a mess. So now, like, what do? I send a note to the people at Woolly Winder and tell them, I lost that little screw. Oh no, it didn't. It was screwed in there so tight, it wouldn't unscrew. So I finally got it done, got the screw, sent the note to the people, tell them, never mind, I found it. It was never lost. And now, I don't know how I'm going to spin on this wheel. I have to ply this yarn, but if it's going to be jumping and getting stuck, that's going to take me twice as long to do on a wheel that works well. So I might have to swap out the Woolly Winder for the regular bobbins, which I haven't used in like 1,000 years. I'll be surprised if I even have any. Anyhow, that was that fiasco. And then this morning, my son needed a ride to work. So my car is broken. So we're driving my son to work. Now, mind you, I always worked in Manhattan. Everybody knows where everything is in Manhattan because it's worked out on a grid. My son works in Westchester. There's no grid. You just get on the highway, get off on your exit, and then find your way. We're driving. I'm figuring that, he says it only takes him about 30 minutes door to door to get to work. It takes him 30 minutes. It takes the rest of the world 45 minutes to get there. You get on the highway and you never get off. And this was at 7 o'clock in the morning. My mother says, I'm on my way. You have to ride with me because I don't know how to ride back by myself. My mother's car is new. I've never driven it before. It's bigger than my car. It's newer than my car. And she's in it. So that just adds to the stress. Because as I'm driving, Scary Mary, that's my mom, she normally would ride in the back seat. But today she had to ride in the front. And the whole way she's going, ooh, oh, you scared me. Ooh, ooh, that car got kind of close. Are you in your lane? I was like, oh my God, I should have just let her sit in the back seat. It is too early in the morning. Now, she sat in the back seat when my son drove himself to work. She sat in the front seat when I drove us home. She's making all these noises. I told Scary Mary, you just need to take your car and go home. I don't need to do anything with this car. It's too big. It's uncomfortable. But it might have just been because she was in it, because she's nervous. And she was making me nervous. So I had a stressful morning. Then after I got home, I made myself a cup of coffee. I sat down with the Woolly Winder. I tried to put it back together. And then it's not working the right way. So that all led me to, I better hurry up and podcast before the sun goes down. Now, there's no sun in my craft room. It's dark as a cave in there. But there's a little bit of sun here in the front room. So that's why I'm sitting here today. I'm drinking my cup of tea so that I don't have to be sounding crazy. This is my second favorite mug, which you can't see. It's the girl with the pearl earring. I went to go see the picture in the Fricky Museum. And the picture is about the same size as my head. Like this. It's a tiny little picture. And it's got like a whole wall to itself. So I loved the picture so much because I loved this girl's face. And then I read that it's not a real person. This is just a put together piece from the artist's head. So I was even more impressed because she's really pretty. So anyway, that's my excitement for today. So I will be at Vogue Knitting Live this weekend. Only on Saturday and only in the afternoon. I'm meeting Barb from Flame and Fiber podcast. And we'll do some shopping and then maybe we'll have some dinner and it'll be wonderful. And that has always been like a part of my birthday celebration, is to go shopping at Vogue. But because I joined this Biggest Loser, I am in no way interested in purchasing any yarn. So Barb, if you see me reaching for something, I want you to smack my hand. Because there's no reason for me to use anything other than my stash. So that is my excitement for the week, for the past 2 weeks. And I am going to sign off and say Happy New Year. And maybe I'll see you at Vogue. If you see me, say hello. If you see Barb, say hello. I'm sure she welcomes that as well as I do. And now you can just go off and go and knit something. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. Happy New Year.